What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Scythe, and we are back again for another Trove tutorial video. You'll have to excuse me, my voice is very stressed because I am very sick, but I needed to put this video up because tons and tons of people have been requesting it for a million zillion years. Flux farming, and how exactly did I get myself Gonda? I totally didn't have the help of like 5 other people at all. Why would you think that? So anyways, this is the official best way to farm for Flux outside of using the market, because if you have enough Flux, buying items low, selling them higher is the best way of getting Flux in the entire game. Lots of people do that, and they actually turn over quite a profit from buying Gondas from the market and actually selling them to players for a lot more and stuff like that, etc, etc. But if you're an old school person like me that doesn't actually care to learn how stocks work, you just go and grind dungeons over and over. So first of all, you're going to get yourself the Lunar Lancer. You're getting a full set of Radiant gear, which of course you want crit damage on all of your gear. Excuse me, my goodness. Crit damage on all your gear is the most important thing. You're gonna want Magic Find on your hat, because it's the only piece of gear that can actually have Magic Find, because you can't get it on your shades and you can't get it on your spear. Your spear, however, has to have energy regen, and it's pretty much the only thing that has to have energy regen is just your spear. Otherwise, crit damage all the way to forever. Also, I have a Shadow 4 ring with physical damage and Magic Find, because that Magic Find, man, that's beautiful. And also, the way that you get Shadow 4 rings is just randomly out of the rainbow chests. You gotta be a master Lord of the Rings thing. Or you can buy yourself a ring for maybe 30 to 40k. That was the last time I bought a Shadow 4 ring. I don't know about now. And cotton candy, which is a very rare item that you can get from the Chaos chest. Otherwise, you can just buy it in the market, and they're a decent price. Let's take a peek. Cotton candy, 50k. So that's actually not bad. And for your emblems, most of these tips I actually learned, like, first I was watching Dark Soul, because he's pretty much the farmer of Trove. Like, seriously, all that guy does is farm, so he's found a very efficient system. And one of them is using the death-defying vial, because as you're playing as the Lunar Lancer, he's very glassy, like he's a glass cannon, so he's very sensitive. Where if you go into battle, he's got the highest DPS, like for normal enemies and stuff. He just clears out dungeons like nothing. I'll show you in a minute. But he can die in like a couple shots, so that's why you give yourself the Death Defying. And then for the emblems, you're gonna want the Martial emblem, which doubles your physical damage, and the Sure Strike emblem. That's the other very important thing, because lots of people don't seem to realize this is pretty much the best build for most characters in the entire game, is getting crit damage on everything. And then you get yourself the Sure Strike, because it nulls the need for critical hit, which critical hit is chance to hit with a crit hit, crit damage. So you want to get as much crit damage as you can, and then get yourself the Sure Strike. So you're going to be using a lot of potions as you're going through dungeons. Now, the other important thing I do want to point out, I hope this guy doesn't come and pick a fight. Stop it. Stop. I don't want to fight you yet. Why am I teleporting? Stop it. You jerk. Jeez. So anyways, now that we got a personal space here, the other thing you're going to want to try and do is, if you can, at least get up to, where is it? At least get up to the 50 Magic Find for all the dragon badges. The Azulian is at 100, because that's when they were still working things out. And then it's at 75 souls thereafter. So that's 50 more Magic Find for every single one of them. Now, I do want to say, I don't even know how that guy joined me. I'm trying to do this solo. I do want to say, too, that in order to get Radiant drops, you have to have a Magic Find 300 and over. Anything over 300 is going to get you the drops. But as for right now, with all the gear that we have combined, we are actually rocking 750. I don't know if that is the max without killing a bunch of enemies and stuff like that, because as you kill enemies, you can actually increase your Magic Find to a total of 50. That's why if you die, it always says, like, you lost all your bonus Magic Finds. So anyway, what you actually do for the grind is you go into the dungeon. You'll see, like, we're in U6 right now, and I mean, it's just a joke. Like, the Lancer just makes a joke out of everything. I gotta turn my own volume down. That's the other reason, too, that you don't actually need attack speed or anything, is you're only going to be spamming your #1 ability, because it causes, like, mega damage, seriously. You're gonna be spamming that over and over and over again, and because of that, you don't need attack speed, because it's at a set attack speed. Like, really. The way that the ultimate spear works as well, this is actually kind of tricky to explain, but I'll try and say it. So if we use our ultimate spear and we throw it down, it's strangely coded where if we're over here and there's enemies standing inside it and we start spamming our 1 ability, the enemies will actually take damage from our 1 ability over in the spear. So very, very weird, but my goodness, my voice, I'm losing it. The point being that if you have an enemy stuck in your spear and you are actually in the aura at the same time, you're essentially doing twice as much damage, because they're taking the damage from like the mirror damage, let's call it, from you that goes into your ultimate, and then just your normal raw damage. Now, dungeons like this are not usually like these tend to be the slowest unless we get lucky like that, where the enemies actually spawn instantly. The other cheap trick is that you do not want to touch any of the dungeons that have you killing. You don't need recipes, and you don't want any dungeons that have you kill 20 enemies in a row, because that's something that just, it takes way too long outside of the grind. Now, I'm not gonna be as fast as I normally am when grinding, because I'm commentating and I'm trying to show this in an instructional way. But as you can see, like, even, like, I would consider the way that I'm grinding right now, this would be like if I was just grinding all night and I was like a zombie, you know, just, it would be the middle of the night and I would just be grinding this like dead silent and kind of wanting to go to sleep. But anyways, this is pretty much all there is to it. You just grind dungeons over and over and over again, and what you're trying to get, I guess I should have said the essential of what you're grinding in the first place, is you're trying to grind shadow items. So sometimes you can get very lucky and get yourself a radiant, and that, of course, depending on the stats that it has, can sell for quite a bit. So see, this is a 3-star boss. If we use our ultimate and then just start using our normal ability, see how we're doing double the damage right there? That's kind of what I meant. So I try to save my spear for 3-star dungeons and stuff like that, unless I come across some other side dungeons. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, my goodness. So anyway, that's all the grinding we're gonna do. I don't think my voice is gonna let me go any further than that. So right now we'll go to TP1, but otherwise normally you just load up your cornerstone just to get your flash back up and destroy all the items in your inventory and everything like that. So the goal is then you go to the loot collector, you start destroying everything. I just grab all the items, but most people will actually just grab the shadow items. I'm just kind of in a habit of always just holding E, grab all the items to me, and then I run out of the dungeon rather than siphoning through the individual items. So you see right here, we got unlucky and just got a couple shadow level 1s, one shadow level 2, which is okay because we can break that down and sell it for the twice soul thing. Then there is also, as you can see right here, this was from me farming earlier, Shadow Level 3. That's one of the other more common ones that you're going to end up getting. Shadow 3 souls sell pretty well. You're going to end up getting tons of eyes from doing this too, by the way. The other thing too I would recommend is getting yourself the Eye Encyclopedia. Also, while we're on the subject of it, get yourself the legendary tomes because they all add to your flux. Like the Writings of Wonder, which jacked up in price like crazy. I mean, we bought one of, like, I already had one of these from a long time ago, and then we ended up buying like a separate one for, I think it was like 20 or 200k at the time. I'm not exactly sure. No, it would have been 20k because now they're like 1 million or something like that. But anyway, it gives you 2 Trove of Wonder chests for the week. And you kind of want to be selected to whatever your legendary tome is while you're just clearing dungeons and stuff like that. It's going to go really, really quick. You're also going to be getting very, very close to your questing badge, which gives you the beautiful pearlescent wings, or pearl pinions? I don't know. I have a wing video in the description, so you can check that out. But anyway, these Writings of Wonder, you can sell the 2 Trove of Wonders for pretty much like... pretty much 9,500 flux, so that's an extra 20k a week. The Chaotic Codex gives you 10 Chaos Chests, which entirely depends on what the Chaos Chest price is. 3 Dragon Coins, I just sell mine for 1k each, so that's another 3k. You get yourself 20 Tentacles, which I stock up. Get yourself the eyes, these bombs, who actually cares? But then I always swap to the normal eye encyclopedia, because what I'll usually do is when I get Shadow Level 3 items is I will forge them up and up and up until we get a Shadow Level 5 item, break it down for the Penta, and then sell the Penta on the market. And if you do all the calculations and stuff like that, you're actually making a profit from forging up a Shadow Level 3. Of course, you're making more of a profit if you forge up Shadow Level 4, or even just get a Shadow Level 5, because then you just break it for the Penta and just make pure profit. But it requires a lot of eyes. Now, what Dark Soul does, he usually runs out of eyes, so he comes to me and Joe, because we kind of like grind together and stuff like that. But anyway, we give him like lots of our eyes and stuff like that, just because why not? We're raking eyes, like seriously. But what he usually does is he puts on his cybernetics catalog to get himself robo salvage, and then he forges himself up the what is it, the neon wings part that costs robo salvage. I think it's 1,000 robo salvage. Refer to my neon wing tutorial video. That's in the description as well. That's what I meant when I point down. Description. But anyway, he forges that up because you can actually sell the individual part for quite a lot. So this also does work for lower end people. Like even selling the twice souls, like they sell for about 750 Flux each. So it does definitely add up. And if you can get yourself at least 300 Magic Find, then you're at least in Radiant territory. Because I myself have gotten like 2 Radiant drops. Actually, I think I may have gotten 3. Yeah, I did. I got 3 because I got one of them. I broke it just for the Penta, just to sell it. The other one, the best thing that you can get for a Radiant drop is the second stat will be crit damage. Because then you forge it up, master it all the way out, give it all the pearls, give it all the stars, give it everything that it needs to be maxed out Radiant, and you can actually usually sell those for 150k or something like that. Then there was another spear I ended up getting. I think I gave that to Cutthroat Kitten or something. But either way, that's pretty much it as far as the tutorial goes, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you found this video informative and helpful, because this is the trick. All we did was this. Dark Soul did this for like 3 weeks straight, and then me and Joe jumped in for a week. I remember I was grinding like really hard, and then Scythe ended up actually helping us out with the ending difference. So I'm still paying back Scythe. It's not that I owed him that much. It's only 600k, which I know is a lot to most people, but you can actually, like, when I was grinding hardcore, like non-stop all day, we were making, I think the most I made in a day was actually like a little over 400k. I'm not exactly sure, but that was like a whole solid day of grinding, which I don't really have the time now, because now like I gotta start recording more videos and stuff like that. But either way, thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you found it helpful. You know, if you have any questions and stuff like that, you can always just ask me, and I'll do my best to answer most of them if I can. Otherwise, I would very much appreciate if you would Hadouken the like button, share, favorite, and subscribe to join Team Pixel. Excuse my sick voice. I gotta take a bit of a break here. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.